The Spanish start conquering the Caribbean, and they get on to Cuba. Goes from Cuba to Panama, and then on the way back, there's a hurricane, and it never makes it to Cuba. But they don't know that. All they know is it never makes it back to Cuba. They're missing a ship. So the governor of Cuba decides, okay, we should probably send a rescue expedition. But he also has another idea. So they don't know the shape of the Gulf of Mexico. They're pretty sure it's a dead end, like you're not going to get to the Pacific through there, but they don't know how it's shaped really, so they want to map it. So the governor figures, I can send a rescue expedition and I can map the Gulf of Mexico at the same time. And one of the reasons why he wants them to go to the bottom of the Yucatán Peninsula is he's hoping to find the 1511 ship that disappeared. He sends the expedition in 1517. The ships are coming along the coast and they see Maya warriors on the beach. So there are these guys with these 6-foot-tall iridescent feathers sticking up, and they go to the beach, and the Spanish ship is pulled up, it sees them, they're dancing on the beach. And the Spaniards go, look, a reception committee. So they get in the rowboat and they row to shore. And just as they're pulling their boats up onto the shore, the Maya come charging down with their swords and spears and massacre them. The Spaniards are falling over each other trying to get back into the rowboats. They do. And not many of them, but some of them do. Like 10% of them get back into the rowboat. They row back to the ship and they're screaming, never again will I go ashore. That was first contact with the Maya. As they're going up the coast, they see another group of Maya dancing. So they pull up, they get into rowboats, but they stop where the waves are starting to break. They don't go to shore this time. And they get a guy to stand up, and they're holding him by the feet, right? Because the rowboat is doing like this. And so he's standing there on the rowboat, and he shouts, hey! Did you see people like us like 6 years ago in this area somewhere? It's first contact. They've literally never heard Spanish before. And he gets a response. He's like, I don't know what they said. Did you guys hear it? And the Spaniards are like, I don't know. Sounded like gibberish. So then he thinks, okay, this isn't working. Let's try a different approach. What do you call this land? And he hears something that sounds like Yucatán. And that's how the Yucatán Peninsula got named. They decide that there's no point in hanging out with part of their crew dead, and so they go back to Havana, they go back to Cuba, and the governor's like, you mapped it already? Did you find the survivors? And they're like, no, we didn't map anything really, and we didn't find any survivors. It's just half of our crew got massacred on a beach, and we figured we needed to get more sailors to replace them before. So the governor's like, all right. He waits 2 years to send another expedition. But this time he's not going to send one ship, he's going to send a group of ships. And this time he's sending a force of about 500 men. And it's going to be commanded by a guy named Hernán Cortés. They do the same thing. They start at that southern point there, and they follow up the coast because they're still looking for the 1511 ship. And then he goes around the Yucatán Peninsula. And so if you look, there's a big river that divides Maya West from Maya South. That's the Usumacinta. And they actually start sailing up the Usumacinta. And they come up on a village. And they pull up. They start trying to talk to the Maya. And the Maya are like, they're trying to signal them, wait here. The Spanish figure it out. The Maya run off. They come back. And they've got a guy with them who has a beard and a mustache. Native American men don't grow facial hair. So Cortés and his men are looking at bearded guy going, what the heck? And they go, are you a Spaniard? And he goes, yeah, I'm a Spaniard. My name is Jerónimo de Aguilar. And they're like, wow, how'd you end up here? The guy goes, all right. So I was in Panama in 1511, and we were sailing to Cuba, and our ship got smacked by this nasty hurricane. It went down, and I swam to shore, and here I am on the other side of the Yucatán Peninsula. And Cortés goes, oh, wow, I'm your rescue. And Aguilar's like, dude, it's 8 years later. What kind of rescue is this? Anyway, so Aguilar goes, wow, you're my rescue. This is great. So Cortez goes, get on the ship. And Aguilar goes, I can't get on the ship. See that guy over there? He owns me. I'm his slave. He bought me. And Cortez goes, how much? And so Aguilar starts negotiating with his master, and Cortez comes up with a price and buys Aguilar. Cortez can now talk to the Maya because Aguilar spoke multiple Maya languages, in part because he kept getting sold. And he's been sold all the way west, right? Like he's moved across the peninsula. Every time he gets sold, he has to learn a new Maya language because there are like 30 Maya languages in that area. And so Cortez is like, how many Maya languages did you speak? I don't remember the number. It was something like 4. And Cortez is like, oh, that's really cool. You're going to be really useful. Thank God we left you here for 8 years to learn all these languages. So Cortez then says, hey, were you the only survivor? He goes, no, there was one other guy. His name is Guerrero, Gonzalo Guerrero. And so Cortez goes, okay, let's get him. Where is he? Aguilar goes, oh, he's up the Usumacinta. We have to basically sail until it's not navigable anymore. So Cortez goes, okay, that's what we'll do. So they're sailing up the Usumacinta. And as they're sailing, Cortez decides it's a great chance to get some intel on these Maya. So he goes, all right, so what was life like in the Yucatan Peninsula? And Aguilar goes, the what? He goes, you know, the Yucatan, the place you've been living in. And Aguilar goes, I don't know what Yucatan is. He goes, you know, the piece of land that sticks up. And Aguilar goes, Mayab, the land named after the Maya who lived there? And Cortez goes, is that its name? And Aguilar goes, how did you get Yucatan? And Cortez tells him the story. And Aguilar goes, oh, that's really funny. And Cortez goes, why? Well, in one Maya language, something similar to Yucatan, not exactly the same, but similar, means, I don't know your words. And so, of course, at that point, the Spaniards are just laughing because this is too hilarious. And then Aguilar goes, but in another language, and it's almost certainly what it actually meant, it means, hey, look, there's your wife. And you know that's what they actually were saying because, right, there are a bunch of warriors looking at these bearded men on a ship. You know for sure one of them bumped the other one and went, dude, look, it's your wife. So the Spaniards are gut laughing at this point and decide that they can't now change the name to Mayab now that they know the real name because the joke would be lost for all eternity. And that's why it's still the Yucatan Peninsula.